There's this idea, a very popular one, I think, that I've seen many times by very respected and admired individual in places of influence. This idea that your perspective or your perception creates your reality. And I want to share my own experiential observations and awareness that this is not always necessarily truth. For example, a teenager on a bus that was essentially taken over and the windows were being blown out by, let's say, crowbars. Children on the bus, crippled and seduced, frozen in fear, perceived the crowbars hitting the bus windows and the glass flying and all the chaos and destruction, and their presence was perceived as a shotgun blast. And as their mind was analyzing and predicting and remembering everything it's seen maybe in action movies or whatever, to them in that moment, if they are not observing what is actually happening because of the fear of not wanting to get shot, to them, their perception is not creating reality. Their perception is creating a perspective grounded in an assumption of sorts, essentially actually creating a delusion of reality, not reality itself. This is just one example. I'm sure you can think of many on your own from a personal nature, from a time in your life when, with the data that you had through perspective and perception, you were so sure of something, only later to find out, with maybe more data than what you originally had, to discover you were actually incorrect and wrong, and that your perception of reality was not creating your reality in a sense of absolute truth or what is. It was creating a delusion of your perception of reality, which is not the same as truth. Perception alone, even perception combined with perspective, is not the absolute governing force towards realization or awareness of truth. Consciousness, that non-judgmental awareness. Non-judgmental as in not a perspective, not a individual perspective, but to see things well removed without judging, just the awareness of it as is, without a opinion or thought or judgment. And then there's the thoughts, the analytical data, memory, algorithms to anticipate possible outcomes, and logic, calculation, anticipation, intuition. And there's the energy, which, as they say, energy never lies. There's the emotions, the mind, which I've already said, perception and perspective, yes, but not alone. The physical presence, the mental analyzation, the energy, sensitivity, the emotional openness, awareness, perception, and perspective. I don't know if I'm missing something, but I just want to warn you that, for example, like egoic identification itself, the incorrect answer or processing to finding out who am I, and narrowing it down to a concrete noun. The soul, for example. The perspective that one has a soul, much like egoic identification. That's exactly egoic identification. Instead of seeing the miracle of existence, that you are flowing through your forms, your layers, to hold the perspective that a soul, an unchanged, pre-written, extreme rule of what is you, doesn't create your reality. It creates your delusion of reality. So maybe look at yourself and see, are you really a being, or simply being itself, the miracle, the presence, the combination of all those layers working together, not in a solid form, but formless, always moving. I believe a reality can be perceived as is without creating a comfortable delusion of egoic identification. One must just be willing and strong enough, dare I say, to let go of all you were given, all you have held, which is only holding you back and getting in your own way. I believe truth and reality, as is, can be perceived.